you. No one's gonna fucking see it. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Blame It on the Draw. Today I'm going to be giving you a Metaphys profile. So to start off, we start with Metaphys Ragnarok. Now, what this does is it banishes the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you banish a Metaphys card, then it gains 300 for each one that is banished, and when it attacks and inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon any Metaphys monster from your deck. Next up, we run 3 Metaphys Nephthys, or Nephthys, however it's spelled. This card, what it does is when it's special summoned by the effect of a Metaphys monster, it banishes all your opponent's set cards, and during the next standby phase of when this card was banished, you can search any of your Metaphys cards from the deck. Next up, we run 2 of Metaphys Tyrant Dragon. Now what this does is when it's special summoned from the deck by a monster effect, deck or banish or graveyard by a monster effect, it can attack twice and is unaffected by your opponent's trap cards. And the next standby phase of when it is banished, you can special summon a Metaphys from your hand. Next up, we got Metaphys Daedalus. What this one does is when it is special summoned by your Metaphys monsters, it can banish all other special summoned monsters on the field. And the next standby phase of when this card was banished, you can banish any of your Metaphys cards. Okay. How the fuck was I supposed to get that from that? Next up, we have Metaphys Decoy Dragon. What this does is when your opponent declares an attack, and this is on the field, either in the Pendulum Zone or in the Monster Zone, you can banish it and then special summon any of your banished Metaphys monsters, or you can also special summon a Metaphys monster from the graveyard. Next up, we have Grand Maju da Aiza. Grand Maju da Aiza. I don't give a fuck. The attack. This one is really good in this deck since you are banishing almost all the cards you have, and its attack equals the number of banished cards by 400. Next up, we run 2 Cyber Dragons so that we can special summon him or use him to break extra link lockouts. Next up, we run 2 Necrophases. This card is pretty good. When you banish it, you can make your opponent and yourself banish the top 5 cards of your deck. It's not once per turn, and also when you summon it, it returns all of the banished cards, both you and your opponents, and gains attack equal to the number of cards returned. Next up, we have Metaphys Executor. What this does is it cannot be banished or destroyed by card effects, and if your opponent controls more cards than you do, you can special summon one of your Metaphys in the grave or in the banish. And for the last monster, we run Eater of Millions. This one's summoned by banishing cards from your hand, field, or extra deck, and when it attacks, you can banish an opponent's monster face down. Now for the spells, I run 2 Metaphys Factor, which makes it so that your Metaphys monster's effects can't be negated nor activated in response to, so it's pretty good. It also allows you to normal summon a Metaphys monster without having to tribute, so that's also pretty good. So hot. Next up, we have Acid Metaphys. Run 2 of this card. What it does is you banish 1 Metaphys card, you draw a card, and depending on the turn, it can gain one of these effects, which is during your turn, your opponent's monsters lose 500 attack, and during your opponent's turn, they change to defense position. Next up, we got the draw power of the deck, 2 Pot of Desires. Now this is really good because it makes your Grand Module very strong, but it's also a little bit risky since it can take out some of your best cards. Next, for the one-offs, we have Dimensional Feature, which banishes any monster that's supposed to go to the graveyard. Instead of going to the graveyard, it gets banished. One Scapegoat, so you can make link plays. One Gold Sarcophagus, so you can banish. Usually, what you do is you will banish Necrophase, and then by banishing Necrophase, you make your opponent and yourself banish 5 more cards from the top of the deck. Next at top we have Left Arm Offering. You banish your whole hand and you look for a spell card. You add it to your hand, and for the rest you couldn't set before activating this or after activating this, so keep that in mind if you're gonna use it. And for the last spell we have Soul Release, which makes it so that you can banish 5 cards from either player's graveyard. It's really useful against most decks since they do not like to be banished. I know, it's so hot. I'm a sweaty person. For the traps, we have 2 of Waterfall of Dragon Souls, which lets you add a worm. Most of the Metaphys are worms, so that's pretty good. And also, if you discard, I believe it's worms as well. Yeah, you can discard as many worm monsters and you draw as many cards as the worm monsters you discarded, +1. Next up, we have Metaphys Dimension. Now, what this does is, when your opponent special summons a monster, you can special summon 1 Metaphys monster from your banish. And also, when Metaphys monster is, or a Metaphys card is banished, you can banish 1 card your opponent controls. Next up, we have 2 of Metaphys Ascension. Now, this one you can discard a Metaphys card, draw 1, and then banish 1 Metaphys monster from your deck. And also, if this card is banished, you can search any Metaphys card. So it's pretty good. Next up, we have Different Dimension Ground, which makes it so that any monster that goes to the graveyard this turn is instead banished. So that'll help you. And finally, the last trap, Macrocosmos, which makes it so that every card that's going to the graveyard is banished instead. And that's it for the main deck. Let's do this. Stop. Now for the extra deck, we're gonna show you. You run 2 Agave, 2 of T-Rex, a Trigate, and an Arcane Extra Joker. These cards are, you can really use any card instead of them. I just run them for the Eater of Millions. They have no real use in the deck, so Hip Hoshiningen. It's really good in this deck. It makes your Metaphys a little bit stronger, since none of them are above 3000, and you may need that little bit of extra juice to take out monsters. It also returns 1 from the grave if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, so that's good. Proxy Dragon, not really useful. It's mostly used for link scaling. Link Spiders also used with Scapegoat so that you can climb. Got 1 Link Karibo. And finally we have Draco Plant, which is also another junk card, and your Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon, which is used for the breaking of your opponent's extra link. Well, that's it, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the like button, make that like button your bitch, and I'll see you guys next time.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out.